Welcome to another edition of Soccer as we like it, the Man United direction. And today we are talking about United players who took part in the Euros and the Copa. I want to see after they had a top season in the Premier League for the club Manchester United, having the devastation of losing the Europa League final, they went to Euros, played for the countries, and went to Copa. We're going to analyze some of the players, how they performed, were they successful, were they hits, were they misses, or complete shambles. Right, we have representing UK, we have Kay in the house. He's on mute.
I think he's on mute.
Hemil, representing Houston Red Army, welcome to the show.
Hey, great to be on the show.
Thank you. We have Bems, representing Houston Red Army.
Thanks
And we have the one and only Joe with his new Sancho background, representing Houston Red Army. All right, let's start. Right. As you all know, we have United players. We're going to start with the one and only McTominay, who played for Scotland. He played as a right back. His country did not qualify out of the group stage. They came last in that group. But what did you guys think of McTominay for Scotland in the Euros? He played 3 games. They lost 2, drew 1. What was McTominay like?
McTominay was shit, man. He wasn't. He was well to me, man.
It was poor.
If I give him a score, 1 out of 10, this tournament, I mean, at best you get a 5.
A 5.
Maybe even a 4. Yeah, he wasn't that good to my.
Okay. What did you, Joe? What did you think of McTominay playing as right back for Scotland?
He didn't play right back. He played center back.
I think
Centre back?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He played center back. He didn't play right back. He played center back.
Because he played well. He played well against England. I mean, when I saw that game, he looked. Oh, I mean, England and Scotland is do or die. So probably played well.
How it is. Yeah. There's there's a little bit of bad blood there, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, pedestrian wasn't that great. The only thing that you can say is like we didn't get slapped by England when they played him. So if somebody that's supposed to be a midfielder gets switched out and plays a center back position, and that's not your normal position, and you get out there and you're able to stop England from even though England was who they were, give him a little bit of credit for that. But yeah, I'm not too impressed with his performance, but then I wasn't really expecting anything from him. So
right. Oh wow, damn, that's cold. Wasn't expecting anything from him. That's a bit harsh. Hemi, Scott McTominay for Scotland. How was his performance in the Euros?
Why is he in Manchester United teams? I mean, internationally, I feel like he always plays centre back for Scotland. He's been average. I don't think he plays midfield in Scotland at all, which is weird. And he plays midfield for us, which is also bad. I wouldn't give him above 3 at all. He's only been in our team because he comes through youth, and when he scores, everyone gets goosebumps. But apart from that, I think he's just a bench player for us, and internationally, I don't know why he plays centre back.
Kay, can you hear us? Scott McTominay for Scotland. How was his performance this season at the Euros?
To be fair, I think I only watched the game when he played England, and like I said, everyone always expects us to roll over England, but those games are they're bigger than local derbies. England, Scotland, national teams. Scotland's always a hard game when England played him, and he did what you expect him to do. He's one of those players where it's a tight game, you need people to work hard, get their rough people up. He's good at doing that, but like I said, the only reason, like someone just said earlier, he's at United is because he's an academy product. If he wasn't an academy product, he'd be nowhere near the first team. But give his dues. He's a good threat. He's a good squad player, but he should not be playing more than maximum 20 league games a season, if that.
Wow.
I don't think he's good enough to play.
Yeah.
I agree. I think he is an amazing bench player. Like when he comes off the bench, he can give us that
Yeah.
boost that we need. But I don't think starting him makes sense.
So you
It's
don't
how
you don't
people
you don't
compare
think
him
he's a
to.
regular for United? It shouldn't be a regular for United.
And
No.
I
Some
would
people compare him
even
to
The way
Sancho.
he shouldn't be a regular. Hell no.
Yeah.
That's lower standards.
I
So
don't even
Yeah,
think he
yeah.
we
should.
expect
He
McTominay to be
You
our
guys are
guy.
you guys are cold blooded.
no. I mean,
It's nothing
even
cold-blooded,
with
it's a
bringing him,
fact.
even if we're bringing him off the bench, I don't even think we should bring him off the bench in games that we're trying to
Win.
move forward. It should be games that we're trying to just see
Most games,
away,
right?
just
Yeah.
wrap things
Exactly.
up.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Exactly.
up. We just want to see it out.
Yeah.
That's all he's
Wow.
good for. Like I'm not bringing him in to change the game. Like if we
Yeah.
need
What's he going to do
goals,
to
we're
change the
not bringing
game?
in.
It's
Yeah,
not going to affect.
he's not there.
He's not creative.
All right. So
Can't pass
obviously
for it.
Scott McTominay was nothing special in the Euros. Right. Let's move to Daniel James. His country went to the next stage and were beaten by they lost to Italy. People say he played well. He was just Daniel James. What Hamid, what did you think of Daniel James representing his country in the Euros? And
I think
they go to the next round.
yeah. I think Dan James plays way better for Welsh than he plays for Manchester United,
I
which
think so.
comes to the point he's not at the Manchester United level. And that's why Leeds are looking for him. And he should go to Leeds because that's where he's going to be successful as a player. He is
I would say alone.
maybe, yeah.
Wow.
I think Manchester United is not his level. Like it's way too much for him. First season, all he played him way too much, and he got gassed out. And the next season, he was like up and down. He's never given us what we need as a winger. And now that we have Ahmed Diallo, Pelestri, but he's probably on loan. You got Sancho. I don't think we
I can
need
play
that
both
game.
sides.
Yeah. And if Cavani, now let's say Cavani and Marshall and Greenwood, right? Those are the three up front. Marshall maybe moves to the left with Rashford if he goes for surgery. So I don't think there's a spot for Dan James unless we are planning to sit back and make him go run quick.
Wow. Joe, Daniel James, Wales, Euros. They got to the next stage.
I mean, let's not pretend like if it wasn't for Ryan Giggs,
Yeah.
and Mr. Dan James would not have a Manchester. He wouldn't be, spotting that team viewer, this season. So I mean, and one of the reasons why certain players that play exactly the same are gonna look better in different teams because people, other teams they don't play Manchester United the same way they play the Welsh team. Teams sit back against Manchester United, so you're going to need a little bit more creativity in one-on-ones. And when teams come at you like they do with the Welsh teams, it opens the game up and gives him space to be able to make those runs. But if you're not playing against those kind of people, there's no use in you being in Manchester United. So, well for him, he did okay. But I didn't really even notice him during the Welsh games either. So you did all right.
Bams, Daniel James, Wales.
Yeah,
They got to the second stage.
I think I agree with what Joe said. I mean, Daniel James plays better in teams where they sit back and then they counter. So when he has to count, he plays better for a counter-attacking team, like when they come against him. So that's why he doesn't do well at United. Guess he's just a speedster. I mean, he just takes the ball, he just runs, and decision making is, we all know decision making is terrible. He had a moment in the game against Saturday in his decision making, and that he had like 3 people in the box, and he crossed the ball keeper. That's standard Daniel James. So yeah, he did well in the Euros because he played the way is in Wales play. It fits his strengths, but at United, it doesn't strength. So yeah, I think going forward when his United career, I think his career should not continue. He should. Yeah, he's not good enough.
Right. Okay. Daniel James in the Euros.
Yeah, I watched a few games. like they always are saying, in the Welsh team, he looks a lot better than he does in the United team because of the way
Yeah.
they play. In United, he had a good season, and then people realised this is his game. Show him inside, get tight, don't give him space to run, and you just know like
Yeah.
This is the thing. When you're a new player, you come into a team and you hit the ground running. People are like, "Oh wow!" And then they start watching your game, and he's not got anything else in his locker. He's a one-trick pony. Whereas people like Greenwood, he's two-footed. He's got more to his game, so it's a lot easier for him. Whereas I think Dan James, the way we play just doesn't suit him, and they've not coached him to get better. Like decision making is no better than it was when he first started. He's one of them players that if he's got no decision, he looks good. When he's a bit like Rashford to an extent, where when he's got too many options, he hasn't got the maturity to slow it down and pick something out.
Yeah.
He just rushed, very rushed when he plays. And
So we are going to
think
give him an average score. He was average, or he was good, or he was just
what in the Euros of United.
For Euros. For Euros.
Euros, I think he was probably like a 5 or 6 out of 10. Like, because the thing with Wales, they just hit the front man early, and that suits him because he can just run into the space. But yeah, he's not, and he's good defensively, but you don't want a winger that's gonna just run back. Like, that's not the job of a winger. As a winger, you should be creating and scoring, not coming back to defend. That's not what I'm putting in the team to do.
Right. All right. So we've done McTominay, average. James, average. Let's move to the one and only Lindelof. His first game for Sweden against Spain, he was actually the man of the match. That I had to check if I was seeing doubles, but it wasn't. But it all came undone against Ukraine. Typical ball into the box, and the rest is history. Hemil, Lindelof in the Euros, representing Sweden. They got to the second stage.
I don't know how he got the man of the match, and you keep seeing the same mistake. Like he's not. I don't know what kind of center back gets bullied so much. Like he's technically not a CDM. I would never play him a CDM, but it looks like he has better passing range than defensive capability.
I think so too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's a good passer of the ball. He is. I think that's the only.
Yeah, that's the only positive. Like, only time he does not get criticized is when he gave that great assist to Rashford when he played at, what was the game? I forgot, but just top-notch passing. But defensively, it's always scary when someone goes to. And plus, McTominay, I think, plays on his side.
Yes.
The midfield just goes past through two players. There's no one stopping them. So, internationally, I think he played the same way he plays for Manchester United.
The Ukraine's winning goal was crossed into the box.
Yeah.
My man was lost. Where's the ball? And right. Joe.
Which also, hold on, one more point. Like, that's one thing, if we get Varane, I want to see is, does Wan-Bissaka tuck in because of Lindelof, or is that a coaching mistake? Because every time there's a cross, Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka miss it, and there is a shot.
Very true. Especially Wan-Bissaka. It gets tugged in. You saw that game against RB Leipzig. The first 3 minutes, we were all over the place. We were like 2 down in 5. And it's Wan-Bissaka's that side where he gets tucked in, drawn into the middle. It's sad, but I hope lessons have been learned from. I'm hoping we learned from what we saw last season with Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka and that whole right side, whereby Wan-Bissaka go down the flank. He even said he was a very good winger when he was younger. Like,
like what team? Like, I want to see some tape. Like, no, seriously.
So I said, in my mind, like, did you ever cross the ball? Because if you are a winger, you should not still be able. We could still see the quality of your crosses. That I can't see as he plays now. Right, let's move to Joe. Joe, Lindelof, your boy.
Yo, I'm pretty sure after that goal was conceded by him, that's when Ole just got on the phone. It's like, hey, you know, like how remember when Chicharito was still on the team, right? And he was struggling and everybody wanted him to do good. Yeah. Then, like, there was a chance he had. I don't know if it was a penalty kick, but he missed it was a penalty kick.
Yeah, for Louis van Gaal.
and the camera straight up went to Louis Van Gaal, and because I think Ryan Giggs was there too.
Yeah,
Louis Van Gaal
Van Gogh was
just
assistant
looked at
coach.
Ryan Giggs like, "Yo, this dude is out of here," and then Ryan Giggs is like, "Hey, hey, boss," that's exactly what had to happen with Lindelof. Like, as soon as we saw that, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this guy's not getting better. If he's not getting better for his own country, then it's not going to happen here at United. So let's get that deal with Varane started at least. I don't know if it's going to finish, but yeah, he did doing the lower group stage. He did okay, but not good enough. United, not good enough to start week in and week out.
Wow.
So 4.
Bams, Lindelof, Euros. Sweden got to the second stage.
I was surprised he got that man of the match. I was like, where did that come from? I was really surprised. Like, what did he do? Yeah, and then against Ukraine, I mean, typical Lindelof. Typical Lindelof. I mean, you see it every week or every other week when he plays for United. It's the same old thing, same old. Yeah, Lindelof's performance in the Euros this summer. I mean, if I was to give it a score, probably a 5.5 at best. But yeah, I mean, yeah, wasn't all that, man.
Right. Okay. Lindelof.
Yeah, for me, same old with that guy. He's good on the ball, he's good at passing, but for me, in the air, he doesn't know how to read danger. He's never in the right place so that he can intercept. I know they talk about his leaping and jumping. If you're in the right place, the striker or the attacking player has to foul you to get past you. But he always seems like, oh no, I've made a mistake. Let me readjust, and then bang, he can't get the play.
Same thing against Sevilla. Remember Sevilla the year before? Same thing against Europa, against Villarreal.
When Mourinho was there, Brighton, there was 2 games, one ball over the top, and he went over his head.
On his debut, he was a mess.
But twice against Brighton, it happened twice in the same season.
Those were the signs. That was the sign, like this was a bad buy.
Yeah. For me, he's just, I know they talk about his back injury a lot, but for me, it's just, if you're managing his back and managing, he shouldn't be playing every game. And for me, he's one of those players, he should be a squad player. And hopefully, buying another centre-back that'll put pressure on him, he'll either step up or he'll just be a squad player. But for me, he should be a squad player at best. Like, when they say about people like John O'Shea, Johnny Evans, they were very good squad players. For me, Lindelof's below that, just a little bit below that. That's standard for me.
Wow. Right, let's go. So we're giving him average score.
5 out of 10 for me.
Wow. All right.
I mean, if Excel Tuanzebe gets run of games, I think he's way better than Lindelof. So I don't even think
Lindelof
better than
Lindelof.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I sometimes wonder what Ole is thinking, but
way more attributes than Lindelof.
Right.
Sure.
Let's move to Copa. Cavani scored 2 goals for his country against Bolivia and someone else. It wasn't bad when Uruguay got to the quarterfinals. Bems, did you see Cavani?
I didn't really watch the Copa, man. I didn't really watch the games. I didn't watch Cavani play in the Copa. So I mean, yeah, if he scored goals, so I mean that's good. I mean, you know Cavani. I mean that guy around the box, man. I don't know what kind of goals he scored, but I mean
the game I'm talking of, he had missed like 3 good chances before he scored the 4th chance. Because they are those tackles out there is on another level, bro. They are vicious.
Yeah, Copa America's.
Copa America. Yeah, they're really tough, man.
It's like watching old 70s Premier League. It's like, what is going on?
Butchering tackles, bro.
Like assault.
It is assault. Some of those tackles, like, come on, not even a yellow for that. It's like the referee's like, play on, like, oh dang.
It was.
So Joe, Cavani.
For what I saw, he looked decent. I mean, the thing that just astounds me about this guy is his energy. Like, even with those tackles, and a lot of the pitches in those South American games, they weren't too great. The balls,
no,
it was like pretty bad. But he played a lot of full games, and he's looking like he's fresh. I was worried about that because of his age, because of his past injury. But he looks good. He looks sharp. And yeah, he missed a few chances. But, as long as, they, we continue creating chances, he's going to bank a lot of goals for us. So I'm excited about him. So I'll give him 6,
Okay. Cavani, Copa.
Yeah. Now the others, I only watched a bit of the final and a bit of the semis. I didn't really watch the. I was shocked that he went. That explains why he's not been pre-season. But it's one of them for your country. A lot of those players, it's especially the South American team, they'll play for them until they say we're moving on to the next thing. But yeah, for me, Cavani's been a pressure. They always talk about his preparation for games, his mindset, and what he offers on and off the pitch. So for me, it's like I said before he even signed, it's another Ibrahimovic signing.
Yeah.
For me, those sort of players, they should never have had to have been signed. When we had people like the Rios, the Evras, the Vidics, the Van Persies, they should have been kept for a few years to pass on the knowledge, to play here and there. But we just got rid of a whole set
The whole set at
senior
the same time.
that had the United standards, and it's like we're trying to get back to that again. So it's almost like patching up for the players that we had, even like the people like Chicharito. We let so many of those good professionals go for peanuts, and now we're trying to, United way, this, that, the other, and like there's no one really setting the standards in training or taking charge of people doing extras and not just doing their normal training. Like at United, there was always, I remember, was it Gary Neville or Keane? They were saying like sometimes there was players, they'd finish training and they'd go home, and players like that would be like, where are you going? You're staying back, you're doing extra training. Like, this is Man United. Like, come out and do some more passing or more shooting or get in the gym. And that is the sort of mentality we need at United, not just train and that's it. Because we need to get back to...
Go home and go on Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. We need to do more than the other teams. Like, Man City, they're up there. So what are we going to do to catch them? We haven't got the quality, so we need to train harder. So for me, it's simple. Some of the players, it doesn't look like they're trying to improve. They're just
it looks like they're comfortable. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
Comfortable, yeah.
Right. Hemi.
That comes from the players, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, it comes down to it. Hemi, Cavani, Euro Copa.
Yeah, I honestly haven't watched. Only game I watched was the finals, but I saw that he scored a lot. I think he's probably the best number 7 after a long time.
Yeah.
For you.
I
the only thing I would say is, again, that was a last-minute panic buy. We would never have got him. If it was a planned signing, we would have got him earlier. He wouldn't be quarantined. He would be playing the first 3 games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which we lost. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But I'm glad he stayed 1 more year. That gives Greenwood the chance to develop under him.
Yeah, definitely. You can even see him getting better as the year passed.
All right.
Next and I also think we should have got him when we got Zlatan. I think we were in for him. I don't remember, but I think it was either we get Cavani. I don't think the board wanted to pay the price, but he should have been here for a long time.
At the time, or he was at PSG at the time, right?
And he was getting benched a lot at PSG as well.
Yeah,
because it was Ibra was the main man. All right, let's move on to Bruno Fernandes. I'm gonna start with Bems. Bruno for Portugal. He was in the group of death. They made it to the second stage, but seems like it all went wrong somewhere.
Yeah, Bruno didn't have a good Euros this year. And I think it was simply because the guy is just tired, man. I think he's just fatigued. I think he's been overplayed throughout the whole season, and you can just tell. I mean, you can just see him. You can just see him the way he played in the Euro, and he just. I mean, he wasn't the Bruno that we saw.
Yeah.
At United the whole season.
I felt bad.
Off of it, like. Yeah, I mean, you could see. He hardly started any games. He was always coming on second half. And even when he came on in the second half, he didn't affect the game. He didn't really change much in the game. So, and I think that system of the 4-3, because that 4-3-3 that Portugal play, I think to get the best out of Bruno, from what I've seen so far, getting the best out of Bruno, you got to play Bruno at number 10. If you play Bruno as an 8, you lose his strengths. And that showed when he played for Portugal, because a lot of times they 4-3, and I think he played on the right side. I played the right 8. So yeah, is it not a good performance in the Euros because he was tired and fatigued, and also the formation, the way they play, doesn't really suit his strengths too. So, really good Euros for Bruno.
Okay, Bruno Fernandes, Portugal in Euros.
Yeah, like they're saying, he was overused, overplayed, and I think that's going to. I know he wants to play every game, but as a manager, I know they do. Like I've got friends that are physio at professional clubs. They do things like blood tests where you can say you're not tired, but they can check your lactic acid in your blood and say like you need to sit out for this game or rest this amount of games. So he was overplayed, and the thing with him, like people talk about Pogba and discipline. Bruno's not disciplined at all. He basically plays as a striker. That's why he gets so many goals. But
exactly
in midfield, he leaves so much space that it exposes the rest of the midfielders, and it doesn't help them. It does not help them. And I know he gets a lot of goals and assists, but it's a balance. You've got to know when to go and do that and when to drop back. Like I think it's a real problem, especially when you got two midfielders that are not the greatest on the ball. Like if Bruno's a bit closer, that helps, and then it gives space to the strikers. But what Bruno tends to do is he stays high, they do a low block, and then it's like we get towards the edge of the box and it's like there's no space. He always wants the ball, which sort of it's a cure and a curse, because obviously it's good that he wants the ball, but it's very predictable.
Yes,
very predictable.
Because when every time Portugal played Moutinho and Renato Sanchez, they had more impact than Bruno. Renato Sanchez just runs. Moutinho sits back and sprays the ball. But Bruno just seemed lost. I was really
and the thing with Bruno as well, he hasn't got the legs. He's not a ball carrier. So that's why he stays high. He stays high so he can one touch, two touch, get a shot off. He starts deep. He knows he has to pass it, and he hasn't really got the legs to get around the pitch.
Very correct.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Bruno Fernandes.
It definitely looked like the system didn't work out for him. But just even I've seen Bruno play different positions before, not necessarily up top as an attacking midfielder, and I've seen him pull it off. It's just that he was just off. Nothing was coming off for him. Like nothing was working out. His pass accuracy overall was okay, but it just goes to show like he lost his starting position to Sanchez. And when was the last time we heard about? He's doing well, like reviving his career again. But after the kind of season that Bruno had, I would have never thought that someone like Sanchez would have, replaced him. So we ended up only playing 4 games. It is what it is. 4 games out of 12. For Portugal, that's a shock. That just goes to show just how bad he was. So hopefully he got some good rest. Maybe he had a few ice baths or whatever, just clear his mind, and ready to start the league in a few weeks. So yeah, I'll probably give him a 3.
Woo, Hemi, Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, I think it showed that all he needs to be the manager and not just do what the player wants him to do. Like all the players are going to want to play all the time. Like if I was a player, I would want to play all the time. Like it's up to the manager to tell him, okay, you need some rest, get off. And plus, we had Van der Beek. It's not like we don't have players.
That's true.
Because we didn't rotate enough, you couldn't trust Van der Beek, because whenever he came on, it looked like he's not getting enough game time. If he rotated enough, even Van der Beek would be better than what we saw. We saw him against Wolf. He was the man of the match, I think, for me. Van der Beek. So if all he rotated him enough, he would have the energy. And I hope even Bruno understands, like, he can't just keep playing all game and go to the World Cup.
Right. So
And
what would you
I
score him for his performance in the Euros?
It was way below average. I never thought Bruno would have bad games, but that was like when he started, he got pulled out, and then he
Yeah.
started second half. It was It
I
just
would
showed that he needs rest.
I would also hope after watching Bruno during this Euros competition that the same call, Ole had that same light that went off in his head. It's like, oh, we need to finalize Pogba also, because
Mhm.
if Bruno dies doing
Yeah.
like not like literally
Because he
like
tends
dies,
to
like
do
his
he
game,
does tend to go missing in games
yeah, if
though.
he
Let's
goes
be honest.
missing on some stretches in important games, I still haven't seen Bruno really like take a really important game and grab it by the neck. I mean, he does well overall, but like things like finals, semifinals, sometimes he does have a tendency to disappear. So if that should show just how important it is to finalize Pogba's either finalize Pogba's contract or extend it, or let him go so that we can replace Pogba with somebody decent that can take up the load when Bruno disappears from time to time.
Right.
Replacing Pogba is expecting too much from the Glazers.
Exactly.
I don't think we.
When was the last time we
You know, I
replaced
I
don't
don't
even
think
want
there's
to
anyone
think
out
that.
there to replace him with, to be honest.
Maybe not. I'm
Yeah.
not saying like replace. All I'm saying is
Yeah,
just
yeah.
let's
The
have a go
quality.
at least bring somebody with a little bit of quality. Don't just be
Right.
like, hey, we're gonna get rid of Pogba and like Scott McTominay and
Yeah.
Fred, like
Right.
something
Okay.
we're trying to move
So
forward.
obviously, we're giving Bruno a below average, right?
5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
3
Let's move to
below.
Pogba. France got to the quarter. They got to the next stage, leading Switzerland 3-1 and threw the game away. The rest is history. I'm gonna start with Bems. Pogba. How did Pogba perform for his country?
I think Pogba was outstanding, man. That's Pogba was outstanding. Pogba that I love. I mean,
He scored
on
one
his
goal, right?
day,
That curling goal against.
yeah, I forgot how
Yeah.
many goals he scored, like 2,
Yeah.
but he like if like he is passing through the lines,
Yeah.
through balls, he
Yeah, he
gave
put this guy through a lot of
so
times. What's his
many,
name?
so many passes through the lines. I mean, there's
Benzema.
a lot of passes, there's a lot of through balls he was giving to Mbappe. Mbappe couldn't finish.
Yes,
If
yes.
Mbappe finished a lot of those chances, I mean, Pogba's performance would have even better. He did well. I mean, Pogba, man. I mean, I'm sorry. That guy, I mean, people are gonna hate. That guy is one of the best midfielders in the world, if not the best if not the best midfielder in the world. I can argue on this day that guy's on point, man. All he needs is a CDM. You put
Yeah.
a CDM, Pogba. That's what you get. And if United would have done this, given put a true top class CDM beside Pogba 4 years ago, you'd have seen a more consistent Pogba. You'd have seen better performance. You'd see more performances like this. The guy was outstanding, man. The only mistake he made throughout that tournament was the game was against Switzerland, Denmark, where they went out when they
Switzerland.
came back from 3-1. So
Yeah.
the only
Switzerland.
mistake he made was
That's
that after they made it 3-1, I think there was a
Deschamps, the manager.
yeah, there was one. I think it was. I think getting close towards like the 90th minute. I think he was the reason why they scored. I think he didn't go defend. I think he lost the ball in midfield or
Lost the
something. I
ball.
can't remember.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
third
Lost the
goal.
ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Can't remember what
second.
happened.
Yeah, I
Second
think the
or third,
last
right?
2 game.
Yeah.
I think the last
I
2
think-
goals came after they made the switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
They
Yeah, I
removed
think because-
Griezmann and put in defensive.
Yeah,
Right.
because Pogba made it 3-1. Then
Mm.
after he made it 3-1, and then I think he made a mistake in midfield, and then they went and scored and made it 3-2. And then obviously that gave Switzerland the momentum, and they made it 3-3.
Right.
I think that was the only mistake he made in that whole Euros tournament. Apart from that, he was outstanding.
Right.
One of the, as in, player of the tournament for me.
The goal was a
Just
beauty. The goal
go.
was a beauty.
Oh, the
Right.
goal was a beauty, but his influence in that team was superb.
Yeah, because I think he made about 4 goals because this guy, he was always creative for Mbappe and Benzema. Benzema was able to score the chances. Mbappe just kept
Yes.
missing his chances.
Mbappe kept missing.
Mbappe was
Yeah.
the reason France did not go far. his misses.
Literally the reason why.
Yeah.
Right. Let me get Hemi to step in here. Pogba for France.
He's definitely the player we want. Like, I mean, I don't know how the board, the manager does not see that CDM should have been the priority. Like, even if we want Pogba to stay and sign, we should show him like, okay, we'll do something for you. We'll have the player behind you. Like, I think even in his interview said he likes playing for France just because he has the freedom to go forward.
Yep. Exactly.
We can't expect a creative player to sit back and just block the ball. That's not him. And I think the best of Bruno comes out when Pogba is on field.
True.
Mhm.
But then who's next to him? Either McTominay or Fred. One is a brick wall and one is a, what do you call, like the people just go through him. So, yeah.
Okay. Pogba for France.
Yeah, like in the World Cup expanding, like he always does, he tries his best, he opens up teams. Like you were saying, if it weren't for Mbappe not being off form, they would have gone through those games easily. The thing with Pogba is he makes a mistake or he gets dispossessed and they generally score. And that just highlights more than it needs to. Like, for all the great he does, that one thing, it shouldn't be a big talking point, but they try to use that as a bat to hit him with, and it's bad. It just reminds me of what Lampard did with Kante. You're trying to put Kante in a position to fit others in. No, you put the people like Kante and Pogba, you put them in their best position.
Yep.
You fit the others around them, or you put someone who's functional. And for me, it's they sold Pogba a dream after we won the Europa Cup and the League Cup. That's the stage where you say, okay, we've won somewhat, let's kick on. Let's get a signing that's going to be in there, that's going to send a message. But instead, we sign Delo, Lee Grant, and who else did we sign? Delo, Lee Grant, and I can't even remember
that season.
Yeah, but for me, it's like they promised Pogba a lot of things, and people are saying, "Oh, Pogba this, Pogba that," but he spent. Is it 5 years he's going to have been at United? And he's not really been any close to the title, apart from the season Mourinho was there. And we weren't even close. So I don't blame him for wanting to leave. They've not matched his ambition. And a player like him should be getting to the semis and quarterfinals of the Champions League. Year in, year out. And challenging for the league.
Yep.
All right. Joe, step in. Pogba, Euros, scored a beautiful goal. He actually attempted the same trick against Portugal, but the Portuguese goalkeeper went so far to the top and brought that ball out because that ball was going the same way against Switzerland.
I mean, amazing campaign with the Euros. He was the he was the maestro of that French team, and they were just cooking, and he was the chef, had everything going out, So, of course, if certain players, Mbappe really executed on a lot of different chances that was given to him. Who knows? So Pogba definitely, I would say he edges out Maguire as far as like out of the people from our team that played the best during that Euros, So I'm even willing to give him, I mean, for what he is as a midfielder, he didn't score that many goals, but he created so many chances. And, it's amazing how our board haven't seen that. I totally don't blame him for wanting to leave because it seems like even still, he knows what it takes for him to play his best. And it just doesn't seem like the team is interested in that, and they're willing to just, like how like how you go to your parents and like, hey, I need to go buy lunch, all right, because we're going on a field trip, and they give you like $2 and they like make it work, right? It's kind of like that. It's like they're trying to get Pogba to just like make it work with who he's got. And I was like, hey, but he's trying to achieve things. When you're trying to achieve things, you got to have certain pieces together. He knows what that feels like. He's played for France. He's won the World Cup. He knows what's required in order for him to be successful. And I just want us to make either just execute on him, like just get rid of him, get some money off of him, and then be smart about it and try to get somebody else, or just just throw a bag at him and just be like, hey, or like actually give him what he wants, which it doesn't seem like it's money at this point. He just wants to be successful. Just give him the players that he needs around him. Somebody, just I think at this point he'll take somebody even slightly better than McFred. Like just he'll take anybody that could just like maybe a Ruben, just somebody who's got a little bit more intelligence. That so, and he's Kay's right about him losing the ball. Like a lot of times he does, like from time to time, just
especially under Marino. That happened quite a few times under Marino.
Oh my, I mean, like I don't. But sometimes also you look at the team, and I'm like, if I knew somebody like that was prone to that kind of stuff, right? Like the team, it doesn't seem like the team talks to him. You see defenders running dead at him, and Pogba has no idea nobody's behind him, right? Yeah. And it's an empty stadium. Why isn't anybody screaming, man, man? Like it doesn't, like in every single sport, if you see one of your players about to get hacked by, defenders coming at him, you let them know. But like nobody talks. It's so weird. But at the same time, he does lose the ball sometimes, and it costs his team. That was shambolic what happened against Switzerland. That should have never happened.
Yeah.
But you know what it was with that as well, the Switzerland thing? I still blame Deschamps because they went 3-1 up. He took Griezmann off.
Yeah.
And then that changed the game. And then obviously Benzema got injured later on, and someone else got injured, and it backfired on him. He thought 3-1, let me rest.
Close up shop.
He could have done that. Because you had Lenglet in centre back. That was a massive mistake.
Yeah, Lenglet was bad.
So what are we giving Pogba?
I give Pogba a solid 8.
Yeah, 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, let's move on to Luke Shaw, representing England. Scored the goal in the final. Took England to the final. What are we grading Luke Shaw? I'm starting with K.
Do you know what? It was good to see. It's typical. In certain games, they were playing the way that United play, so it suited him. But he seemed like he had a bit more purpose with England. I don't know if
he tend to bomb more and stay up there than.
That's what I mean. I don't know if that's from him wanting to do that or the manager letting him do that. It just seemed like it was a Luke Shaw ball coming back, and he seemed confident. And with United, it seems like he's told to go and then cut back. It feels like he's always told to cut back and then pass it on. And I don't think that's his game. So I think he did really well. What you see is what you get with Luke Shaw. He's like a steady Eddie, 7-8. He rarely has a bad game, but he generally has a very good game. So for me, he's that steady Eddie. As long as he can stay fit, he reminds me of a James Milner back in the day when he was at Aston Villa.
Just do a professional job.
Yeah.
Right.
Hemi,
Luke Shaw.
Yeah, Luke Shaw has been great like throughout the season. And the best part, what I remember about the start of not the start, but when we were only connected to Sancho last season and none of the transfers were happening, he was like, we want someone and I want someone as my backup who's gonna push me up. And we got Telles. He's improved. He's always been bad. I think that the injury brought him down, but he's probably the best left back right now. And one of the things that I noticed that Rashford stopped doing, I don't know if it's because of his injury or just his football IQ, but Luke Shaw a lot of time moves forward from him, and Rashford never sees the pass.
Doesn't feed him,
So there's a breakdown sometimes between Rashford
and that's coaching. I think that's a coaching thing, personally.
Right.
No, that's Rashford making dumbass decisions. That's not the first time he does that.
Yeah.
To me, Luke Shaw is the best left back in the world.
Oh wow, that's coming from Ben's. That must be serious.
Yeah. I mean, if I look at world football, I don't see another left back that's better than him right now as we speak. At this moment, I don't see anyone better than him. The way, I mean, is in up and down defensively. He's strong. Offensively, I mean, assists. What
did you see from him in this England team than you saw from Man United? What did you see different from
his confidence, just like what Kay said, his confidence, he's like a beast. His confidence is like you can't tell Luke Shaw anything. You can't tell him shit. The guy he's playing with He's playing with purpose. He's a different human being. Like you could tell the guy's confident. You could tell like he's not afraid to go into tackles. He's not
The
afraid
shackles are off.
to
The
bump
shackles
forward.
definitely off.
Yeah, like he controls the game. He is like
Steady.
I can't. I mean, there's nothing bad I have to say about. I can't say anything about this tournament. I mean, yeah, we gave Paul. I would give Luke Shaw a 9. Luke Shaw was outstanding, man. The guy is at a player that was. I mean, and the funny part was that Mourinho has been talking so much shit about this guy.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw says, "Well, I don't know why he's worried about me. He should focus on himself." Luke Shaw goes and performs after that and performs again and scores in the final. And then Mourinho says, "Well, Luke Shaw has improved. I think he played well. He played well."
Typical
For
Mourinho.
Mourinho to keep talking shit
such
about
a
this guy for
troll.
so many years, that
I think
is
that's
one
helped his
manager,
game, though.
huh?
Maybe it's
I
helped
think
his
that's
game.
helped his game. Mourinho.
Yeah.
People give Mourinho
I
a lot
think
of
so
stick,
too.
but I think that has improved his game
He's
massively.
improved.
Right.
Yeah,
I think
because
so
a
too.
lot-
I think.
Whenever
Yeah, go
his
ahead,
ability
go
is
ahead.
whenever his ability is questioned, that's when he steps up. His
Yes.
ability
Yes.
was questioned by Mourinho,
Yeah.
and his ability was questioned when we brought in Tellus, and that was
Exactly,
what
yeah.
was the catalyst that
Yes.
propelled him to.
I
But that's the
win
winning
this.
mentality. Because I remember
Yeah.
people saying when Mourinho was at Chelsea, people like John Terry, Lampard, there'd be days where Mourinho will go to him and say like, "Oh, you've had a stinker. What's up with you?" So he's trying to get in their head to be like,
Yeah.
"You know what? I'm going to show you." Because I remember listening to an interview with Lampard one time, and he said like, "There's a day when Mourinho said to him like, oh, you're off your game. What's wrong with you?" And this is when Lampard was banging in 20 goals a season, and Lampard just said it's one of those moments where you sink or swim. And he said, "All right, I'm going to show you in training today. Like I'm the boss." Like, whereas a lot of the players nowadays, they cry to the papers. It's like there's a witch hunt. No, show them that you're the player that you are. So do your talking on the pitch. That's exactly what you need to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So what are we giving Luke Shaw?
I'm gonna give Luke Shaw a 9, man. I'm gonna give him a
Damn.
9.
I'd say I wouldn't disagree with a 9. 8 or 9, yeah, I wouldn't disagree with a 9. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
Even I
move
have a
on.
9.
Yeah.
Harry Maguire. He was injured towards the end of the season for United. Didn't play in the Euro final. Played for England. How did you rate him, Hemi?
I would say just like Pogba, Maguire shows that he needs a partner who can step his game up. Like, Pogba is better with Kante. Maguire is better with a better centre back next to him. Like him and Luke Shaw have a great partnership, and I think if we get Varane, it's gonna improve Maguire way too much. I think the start of the season at United was his Greece thing. His head was off, but he's been getting better and better. And I think in Euros he was like way better than what he was at United. That's because of the partnership he had with Stone.
Stones, that's true. That's very true. Very correct. Joe, Maguire.
Yeah, had a really good the fact that he came back from injury, he played a really good tournament, quintessential to England's defensive prowess over a lot of these teams. You know, you would imagine with the kind of firepower that a lot of these international teams have, England were very, very solid. I mean, yeah, definitely was another one of those catalysts that, like, I think led to the decision about Varane. Not only did we watch how shit Lindelof was, we then saw what Harry Maguire's kid grew up when you have a decent center back, a speedier center back next to him. So, he definitely did himself a lot of favors as far as like the team as in itself, and like hopefully, if we get Varane, that's I would hope we would be definitely defensively like maybe one of the best teams in the world defensively if we get Varane. That back four is crazy, you know. So
yeah.
Bams, Maguire, Euros, took England to the final.
Maguire had a good Euros. Maguire is a better center back when he's a good top center back beside him. You could tell he's a much better player. He doesn't play well with Lindelof. Maguire needs a top class center back beside him. when he has a top class center back in Johnson, Maguire plays better. You see you see a much better Maguire. So I mean, this Maguire is one of the reasons why, again, England, they had how many clean sheets? I
Three clean
mean,
sheets.
It's every game until they played
Denmark.
Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark.
The last two games they they didn't keep the clean
Yeah.
sheet.
yeah, but exactly. I mean, just look the whole yeah, you can't drop by, man. Mogno he was injured and then he came in. I forgot what he came back into the team in the Euros, but yeah, Maguire is just Maguire needs a partner that's better than him. As he needs a partner, and when he gets that, he's a much better player. So give Maguire a score. I mean, I'll give it a good performance. Did well, and plus, to score. I mean, I'll take that penalty the way he did in.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Against
that was a
Italy.
rocket,
Very
bro.
Okay,
I was worried for that one. It is like, woo.
That, I mean, he had the best penalty out of the team. The best penalty.
For a long time.
Yeah, the best penalty kick. He from a center back. I mean, 7 out of 10 the whole Euros.
All right. Okay. Maguire.
Yeah,
did
he
I-
was. No, I've not had a goal yet. Yeah, it was an 8 out of 10 for me. He was going back to what the World Cup. Well, why we signed him. He was exactly like that. He's dominating. I think when he came to United, the price tag was heavy on his shoulders. He became the captain when he didn't know what it was like to be at United. I think it was, that when they made Rooney the captain,
Yeah.
he's better when he's not the captain. When you make him a captain side and added pressure, and I think after what happened in Greece, that it was just extra. He knew that the lights were running, so I think he was scared to play his game, and it didn't help him. But he's a solid player. It's a shame we didn't get him this season before we went to get him when Mourinho was there. We would have paid a lot less. It probably would have helped us a lot. And yeah, he, like Gomez was saying, he needs a better player next to him just to raise his game. And the other players, it's for me, it's like he knows he's the better centre back, so he doesn't need to raise his game. He knows he's playing. Whereas when he's got a better centre back next to him, they'll be talking about them as a pair, but they'll be like, oh, he was, like when Rio and Vidic were there.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, like, which one would you pick out of the two? Ariel, you pick Vidic. On the floor, you pick Rio. Whereas at United, it's like, he's just as good at passing the ball as Lindelof and he's better at heading. So for me, Lindelof hasn't got anything really better than Maguire. So it's almost like he feels like he has to cover up for his centre-back partner, and it shouldn't be like, it should be a work together. You're good at dominating this, I'm good at dominating that, but I can do this if I need to. Whereas it feels like they always target Lindelof, and Maguire's always trying to recover from Lindelof. Then Wan-Bissaka's tucking in, so it's all a mismatch, and it just makes the shape of the team just thrown off. So yeah, I think Varane coming in, it'll make a massive difference, and then we'll just be able to keep the ball, and teams won't be thinking that's their weakness, let's go there. It'll be a bit like that. Oh, you know what? We've got to rethink our game plan. They're strong at the centre back. We can't just try and target one of them. So I think, I think he's got a good season ahead of him, and I think he's realised what it's like to be at Man United, and he's earned the respect of his teammates. I think that was the main thing.
That's good. Right. We're gonna use the two players I'm gonna mention. We're gonna do them together because they played literally the same, very little amount of time for England in this tournament. So we're gonna start with him, Sancho and Rashford.
Yeah, I mean Sancho, I don't even know why he wasn't picked. And I saw him play. I don't know which game it was. He came in, and the type of one-touch.
Ukraine.
Yeah. And the one-touch passing that he has. Oh my God! I think he's gonna be great. He's the winger that we need. Rashford, he should have not gone. He should have took a medical leave. He should have got his thing. And now I heard that Ollie's not even planning to get him uh, approved for medicine. Like they will check how he is, and then they will decide if he needs the operation or not, which is
Wait,
absurd.
we're three
Yeah,
weeks out. Like, why hasn't
yeah.
he had the
So
surgery already?
he's on
Should
Exactly.
his
have made it
vacation.
United are
somehow
still
before he
trying to
went.
assess. United are still trying to
Yeah,
assess if he needs to. Should I go or should I stay? That's just stupid. You either
yeah,
have the surgery and get it over. Not like halfway through the middle of the season, not going to break down. Now that the decision making, the medical team, the negotiation team, they really are so inadequate. I swear.
yeah. I think Rashford, apart from his injury, he suffered from the same thing that Bruno suffered. Like he kept on playing them, even
Burnt
if they
out.
were weak, tired. But yeah, with Sancho, I don't know why he didn't get picked, honestly. But whenever he played, I like his one touch movement of the ball on the ball. Comes in, he looks at all the runners, and he's great at crossing. So I think whatever I saw of Sancho in the Euros, which was very less, was pretty good.
Right. Joe, Rashford and Sancho together for
Didn't
England.
see him. Didn't see much from Rashford. He shouldn't have gone in the first place.
Yeah,
Clearly, he's been playing injured. Hopefully, he just needs some rest. But if you need surgery, I mean, come on. I mean, why isn't he thinking about the future of his career? He's going to be useless to us if he ends up getting an injury mid-season. But you know what? We don't have to depend on Daniel James anymore, so I guess that's good. I'm sure if push comes to shove, we can move Sancho over to the left and then keep Greenwood on the right. So, and there's a little bit of comfort for that. But they like this team. That's just poor leadership right there at the administrative level as far as the coaching. It's like you shouldn't be the ones that make that decision. You are an, I mean, you're an asset to the team, right? And if you decided to start engaging in dangerous behavior outside of your personal life, the team will tell you like you need to stop doing that because it'll hurt our chances,
Yeah.
to be able to do things this season. Well, the team has to also look at itself. It's like, oh, if we are engaging in malpractice, we're not doing our players any service by letting them play hurt. They need to look at themselves and be like, hey, we need to look at our players and see what's best medically for them. Forget all this assessment stuff. These guys have the best medical, a lot of like the best medical staff in the entire world. Assess this kid, make a decision, and let's
Exactly.
move on. Because the longer you wait, okay, so now that's even longer for him to be out the season.
Yeah.
Get the surgery done now so that it'll minimize the amount of time he's out. You don't need him going out. And the thing is, you don't know how the injury could be getting worse. So that when you do finally then decide to treat it, he'll be out for months then, and I know we got Martial also waiting in the wing, so that's another good cover too. So yeah, as far as Sancho, didn't see enough from him. It's clear that
Southgate.
Southgate preferred a more defensively minded Sacco um, over Sancho. I mean, shoot, even Foden didn't get that much game time after a couple of games. So,
Yeah.
but that's Southgate. I mean, we didn't see Greenlish that much either.
No.
I mean, we didn't. There's a lot of people that we saw. We thought would have gotten a
The
lot more.
players with flair were not
Yeah,
really given the opportunity to
yeah.
shine in the Euros by Southgate. More
This was
pragmatic.
yeah. This is straight up like no spice. Out of from 1 to 5 on hot wings, this is like a 1.5, real mild. Type stuff by Southgate. So it is what it
Okay.
is. It was good enough to get to the finals. So
Bems, Sancho and Rashford together. How did he go for Euros?
I would love to see Sancho play more games.
Yeah.
We only played one game, and that where I think Saka had an ending for Saka, and I think I forgot what game that was again.
Ukraine.
Ukraine, okay, but he played well in that Ukraine game. I had a pretty good steady performance. It was sad that is in what happened after the years, blaming him and Saka. That. But
That
I
was
mean,
terrible.
yeah, Sancho steady Eddie in the tournament. I mean, showing what he does. Uh, um, is in. But then on the other hand, looking at Rashford, was Radford should have stayed at home. Radford should after the season, Radford should just gone to the hospital and just got
Well, he contributed nothing, to be honest.
Yeah, so it's like, why did he go on a why did he join the tournament when, I mean, if he was fit enough but didn't play, right? Like clearly was fit enough to score, right? But you're not picking him to play games. So I mean, he was literally what, 6th or 7th when it comes to Southgate is in this I guess picking wingers. Radford was terrible, man. He wasn't at it. I mean, as I said before, he should have gone for that surgery just right after the season. And the fact that him and Ole are still contemplating whether to get the surgery is really stupid to me. I think Rashford is I know he wants to play every single, but he's got to look after his career, man. He has years ahead of him, and if he continues at this rate, not like his body when he needs to, he's not gonna have a career. Rashford at this, it shouldn't be a debate. It shouldn't be a discussion. It shouldn't be an evaluation. He's not playing at 100% for the past almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Something totally injured. Just get the freaking surgery. Yeah, Rashford was terrible this Euros, man. He was terrible, and I just hope, I pray, the surgery, if it wasn't, Rashford would be similar to the Rashford that we had last season.
Season before.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Rashford and Sancho together. How did they perform for England?
Yeah, they didn't really get the time to show what they can showcase. I think in hindsight, if they knew what was going to happen, the amount of minutes they would have got, Sancho might still have gone, but I think Rashford would have thought, you know what, I'm not going to play this much. There's no point in me going. Let me get my surgery, rest up, and go again next season. But I think he was probably given assurances or been told that he was going to play more than he did. The fact that he was like, from the wingers, he was like third or fourth choice. And for me, him knowing that, that's going to knock his confidence even more. It's almost like what Ollie does with people like Van der Beek and the Twan Thieves and that. Southgate did the same thing. Like, what message are you sending to these guys? Like, I don't rate you. So for me, I think with Sancho, I think it's a bit more personal. I just don't think you notice with people like him, Grealish, the Mavericks, off the field are a bit, the people they move with, they're in the drinking culture, they're a bit more, less clean cut. So I think that's why people like Grealish and Sancho, I don't think he wants them playing. He wants to play the players that more clean cut, fit the profile, and sort of,
which is absolutely ridiculous.
The typical English players that you want in the media. So for me, I just thought, and to do what he did in the final, I still have a feeling, I know what he tried to do because of all the BLM and all the negativity and the racism and that. I think he wanted the black players to win it for England so they'd be heroes, and it backfired on him. It backfired on him massively. Because he had
bringing them on when they had no time to even warm up. I thought that was a bad
people
move.
say, but as footballers, they should know. But for me, it's a cup final in your home country. You need to play it at least 10, 15 minutes to get a touch, a feel for it.
Yeah.
You know you're coming on. You know you're taking a penalty. All you're thinking is, I don't want to miss. You're not even thinking about the game. You're thinking, it's just gonna eat you up, no matter who you are. Yeah. People like, but I heard people like Rio saying, like, in the Champions League when we beat Chelsea, like Nani and Anderson took penalties before gigs, but they played. Ferguson would have put confidence into them. They were playing during the season, and they had the belief. Whereas people like Sancho and Rashford hadn't played hardly any of the tournament. And for their club team, they're playing week in, week out. They're starters. So for them, they must be thinking, wow, like, what's happened to me? I'm a starter for my club. And the people like Saka that are starting ahead of me haven't really done anything in the game. Like,
Sancho's first touch was the penalty. His first touch was the penalty, which was terrible. I mean, I think that was bad from Southgate. But we move on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just a rookie mistake. You've got to get a feel for the game and feel like, yeah, I've had a touch of the ball, I've had a few passes. Then you can be like, yeah. Well, they were just thinking, don't miss, and at that level, people say, what they're professionals. They say you can never recreate a penalty situation, no matter what level it is, and then a Euro final at home. And I think they shot at the England fans. So people saying that's a good thing, but I think that puts more pressure on you.
It does.
Yeah.
Puts even more pressure on you. So yeah, I feel sorry for them both. I just hope they kick on next season and it doesn't knock their confidence too much.
So what are we grading both of them together?
I'd say a 5, but no, not through their application, just through lack of being played, basically.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's move on to Copa. Fred, Brazil. All he was supposed to do was to make sure Argentina didn't win. And of all people, Di Maria scored the winning goal. The guy who United fans despise scored the winning goal for Argentina to win the first Copa in over 20 years. So, Fred, I know, Joe, you watched that game. How did Fred perform for Brazil? I mean, prior to that, he was literally just average, to be honest. I saw him in a few games. He was nothing special. Just Fred being Fred.
I mean, he did okay. I mean, he was a positive influence in the game. I think he was a more positive influence to Brazil than he is with United.
I saw that part.
So it is what it is. He did well with them. In no way, shape, or form was I looking at his performance and thinking, oh, we don't need to get a defensive midfielder. We're good. We're good. Like, Fred is back and we don't need to pursue anybody else. Like, no, we still need somebody else. It's great to see somebody like him coming off the bench. That'll be fine, but not week in, week out. I'll give him a solid 6. It's a hard tournament to win. Copa America is not an easy tournament to win. It's basically, it's the Fight Club of international tournaments.
Fight Club.
So, but yeah, he did okay. He did okay.
Right. Hemi,
Yeah.
Fred, Brazil.
Fred he just runs around. I mean, that's his job, just running around. The final I saw, he literally didn't do anything. He was taken off.
Yeah.
He was taken off. I don't think he's the CDM that all he thinks he is. So I would like, if we really think that he's doing great for Manchester United and if we can get money for him, we should just sell him, because he's not a bench player. Like, he needs 10 games to warm up. He's not the kind of player who comes on and just starts winning. Like, he has caused us to lose games because he's not good enough for 40 minutes. He gets into the game after 40 minutes. So he's not even a bench player, I think.
Right.
But with the 3 players we have, Matic, McTominay, and him as the CDM, I think he is still better than both of them.
So you think, even though Matic is a specialized CDM, you prefer to play Fred than Matic?
Only because I don't see him playing 2-3 games a week.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if he could, I would put him, but all he does
legs,
definitely
he ain't got it anymore.
He's got no legs. Absolutely no legs.
Right. Bems, Fred Fred for Brazil Copa.
I think he had an okay performance with Brazil during the Copa America. I think playing alongside Casemiro, I think that worked well, to be honest. Especially Brazil didn't have the ball. He's Fred the ball back, so he's that midfielder that, because he's got that tenacity, he's gonna keep it all around, is in the up and down the whole pitch and win the ball. So he and it looked like his link up from his in defense to attack along Casemiro was pretty decent. He was a key player for Brazil during the Copa America. If you look at like the top midfielders, like top 5 midfielders in the Copa America, he was one of them. So I think, in my opinion, yeah, Fred is not a true CDM. If you look at his strengths, I mean, one very important role of a CDM is being able to shield the back four, take the ball in, and push it to the attacker's forward line, and being able to pass through the lines. Passing is very important, and Fred is not a good to the ball. His only strength is winning the ball back. He can win tackling, win the ball back. He's that, but as far as passing the ball, he's not, and also his first touch. So those are things that you have to get through top class CDM. He doesn't have that, but Fred is still useful depending on the way you want to play. I think each player, in my opinion, he's a player that you would. He's a player that you will bring on when you want to finish out the game. You just want to shore up the game, sure that you win. But he's not a player that's dictates and like help you win the game. He's just gonna help you just see out the game.
Right. Okay. K.
Yeah.
Fred from Brazil.
Yeah, I only really saw him in the final, and the game plan for Brazil wasn't great. The better team won.
Yeah, I thought with the Brazil game, I was so disappointed, but I'm not surprised. Neymar holds the ball. If it's just me, he holds the ball on too long, and he's trying to go past the whole team. You got to pass the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, Neymar does it all the time. He does it for he does the same thing for PSG. He holds on the ball too long.
He's kind of selfish though.
Oh yeah, selfish
for sure. Yeah, he's
But yeah, for me, I think Fred's a good player. Like I said with McTominay, he's the sort of player that shouldn't play more than 20 games a season. He's not a starter, and he's a player that you want in the Champions League games where it's tight and you want press, tackle, win the ball, but play it. But they expect too much from him. He's not a ball playing midfielder. He breaks up play.
That's his job.
Breaks up play and pass.
Exactly.
But what United tend to do is they play him in that place and they want him to pass forward and try the risky passes, and it's not his strength. It's like with Pogba, you're playing him deep and you're trying to get him to do things that he's not good at, and you wonder why he's getting it wrong. It's just you're setting him up to fail for me. And yeah, I think he gets a lot of bad press. I think in a better team, Red looks like a very good player, but in our team, the system doesn't suit him, and I just feel like he gets a lot of bad press for what he does personally.
Right. So what are we giving Fred?
Because I only saw him in the final, I'd say probably a 5, but I heard he was amazing up until that. So
the first early 2 games, he played well. The final, he was woeful, and that's when he was supposed to be the best. It's like he did the best at the wrong time.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
the great players turn up in the big games, isn't it?
Exactly. What you guys are grading him, Fred? Done?
Man, that's a good question. I would say 6.5.
6.5. Very generous of you, Bems, I must say. 6.
I'll say 6.5.
Personally, I'll give you no more than 5.5. Because
I mean, they went all the way to the final. He was instrumental in that midfield.
He was a pivotal part of it. Yeah, he was a pivotal.
Yeah, definitely above average. That's for sure. He wasn't spectacular, but he was definitely above average in my opinion.
I was going to ask this last question. Has De Gea lost his position as the number 1 keeper for Spain?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not even Kepa, it's another guy. I don't even know who that guy plays for.
Yeah.
And he was bad.
Goalkeeper. I don't know who
Unite something. He
was bad.
He was the reason why he scored. There was one goal where I think was it that Pedri guy, whoever that 18-year-old Spanish midfielder passed the ball to the goalkeeper. And a simple one just trapped the ball, and I mean he just let the ball pass through, and that's how they conceded. So the reason, stupid mistake from that from the Spanish goalkeeper. Unite something I forgot.
So if he's not the Spanish number 1 keeper, do you guys still think he should be United number 1?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, De
I
Gea
think he
is the
was.
Spanish #1 goalkeeper. De Gea is better than that guy, man.
Yeah, I think he
He is
wasn't
better
the
than-
Spanish #1 because Oli benched him so many times.
I think it's the World Cup where the Ronaldo shot. I still don't think they're forgiving him. The Spanish press for that. They haven't
I
forgiven
know.
him for that.
I still believe, and someone has told me this, and I believe that hat trick he conceded in the last World Cup against Ronaldo, especially the last minute free kick, whereby he didn't even move.
Yeah,
He
they
had.
haven't forgiven
I
him
don't
for
think
that.
he recovered psychologically.
Yeah.
He's not been the same.
Yeah.
But this is it. Well, we have come to the end of the show. We have graded and rated all the United players who took part in the Euros and the Copa. It's come to the conclusion that Pogba and Luke Shaw were given the highest grades, as in 9 and 8.5, and the lowest we've given to McTominay. And who else did we give? McTominay. Who else
Bruno.
was really bad?
Lindelof.
Bruno.
Lindelof,
Yeah.
Bruno.
Bruno.
and Bruno. Unfortunately, hopefully these players who went to the Euros and the Copa, hopefully they could kick off. They're hoping they have enough adequate rest because the season is about to get hot in the next couple of weeks, whereby this season, there's no excuse. No way they cannot win a trophy.
Yeah. And a shout out to Amad Diallo and Eric Bailly. They are playing in Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Diallo already has an assist too.
Yeah.
Oh,
looking
well.
good.
So by the time they come back, wouldn't they're not even going to be? They're not going to be part of the preseason.
They're
Are
gonna
they?
miss at least
No,
the
they're gonna miss
whole
preseason. They're gonna miss the whole preseason. They
Yeah.
come back, I think, on the 8th or
All
7th.
of,
Hey,
yeah.
Well,
That's what
I mean-
Ollie said. Ollie said that Olympics is their preseason, so they better win the gold medal.
Yeah, I think some of those United players need something because they've gone through Euro final defeat. The England players went through the Euro final defeat, and the other players, their teams did not make it to the quarterfinals or semi. So, well, it's been a fantastic show. Kay, thank you for representing UK. Hemil, thank you again. Your first debut on our channel. Thank you very much. Bems, thank you very much, Bems. And Joe, we can't see you. I know you're hiding behind your new backdrop. Thank you
Technical
very much.
difficulties.
Don't forget to like, share, and drop your comments. If you agree with the panel about how United players performed in the Euros or the Copa, drop your comments and don't forget to subscribe. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you guys on our next show. Take care. Glory, glory.
And United.
See you guys very soon.
Thanks, God bless.
All right, bye.
Peace.